You're watching Monty TV. I'm Jackie Karsh, joined now by Scott Wieler. He's the CEO at Signal Hill, which is a leading advisory boutique devoted to serving the M&A advisory and private capital raising needs of growth companies. Thank you so much, Scott, for sitting down with us.
Thanks for having us again.
I'm excited to hear why you're excited about the future of business.
What we're seeing right now is the opportunity for global growth and the continuation of a trend with kind of a market that kind of could have stalled. So kind of this administration, pro-fiscal policy, pro-tax reform, pro-regulatory reform, and all of that should give kind of confidence to the entrepreneurs and investors here that there's a real opportunity for the next couple of years to continue to scale their businesses.
A lot of the topics that are so trending right now, cybersecurity, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, machine learning, these aren't going to be as quickly adopted because the technology needs to come first.
Right.
And so what does that mean for both the investor side of things and the entrepreneurial side of things?
So you see, it's interesting that you say that. We've seen that in every sector or subsector that's developed over time. So as an example, the conversation around security. There are 4,000 security companies. Actually, some consolidation needs to happen.
There are too many.
That was the hot space, right? And so now we're going to see winners and losers and getting to scale. And quite frankly, the financiers that can get someone to scale will ultimately be the winners.
That's the most important.
Right? So you're seeing that in security as on the one hand. The Internet of Things, they were a bunch of companies that weren't that highly valued because their end user markets sort of weren't that interesting and weren't growing that rapidly. Now everyone is thinking about how do you measure, how do you monitor, how do you improve? And so consequently, it's now the rising star, accelerated by artificial intelligence and machine learning. What can we learn to improve processes and efficiencies, kind of to make, kind of solutions better?
Do you think there needs to be consolidation of the three main categories, the cybersecurity, Internet of Things, and machine learning? Do they kind of need to build companies that have all of those three elements?
Well, I think the Internet of Things ultimately is the umbrella for everything, right? That includes elements of these things. The problem with cybersecurity right now is they're 4,000 point solutions. I solve this problem, but I need to integrate it with 23 other, kind of software programs in a company. It just is too hard. So when you start to develop full suites and solutions, think about it, human capital management. That's ultimately what Oracle, kind of an SAP and Workday and everyone else is trying to do. Figure out how little programs can end up being aggregated on the desktop for that HR manager or otherwise to be able to deal with seamlessly. That's what happens over time as the software connects and interconnects.
It's also about the integration. Think of the self-driving car, which is the Internet of Things. Also, it's going to be machine learning, and we're going to have to think about cybersecurity because we don't want someone hacking into our car and driving us off a cliff. So how does the integration of all of these really complex technologies that are going to have to kind of work in unison?
Yeah. Well, so the Internet of Things, in theory, measuring, receiving data, kind of an evaluating, starts to make some of that integration happen. But we had 43 companies, kind of at the conference, all talking about their solution set to make the world a better place. And at the end of the day, that's, I think, the reason why we do this and so many people come to the conference, because they get a chance to see people trying to improve the lives, kind of folks all the time.
Scott, thank you so much for sitting down with us.
Thanks for having us.